Yo, what is happening, Cucumber Squad? Right, man. I'm feeling a lot better today, thank God. I had like headaches and I was feeling very fluey. I dropped 3 videos and then I wasn't well then, and then I was just man down. So I apologize, I haven't been around. I'm still dropping music reactions today. But I actually just wanted to drop a video just to talk to the country and the people that I admire very, very much. I've always had an affinity to the USA. I've always felt that the USA, I mean, as a South African, you know, and I'm obviously looking at this from as an outsider, but just so that you know what it means to the people outside of your country. And you're gonna get the people who don't like the USA, but you're gonna get the people that like the USA and are researching the USA and have an affinity to the USA like myself. I've always felt the USA has always been the innovators, have always been the country with the can-do attitude, the country that could achieve anything, do anything, help anyone, anywhere in the world. They were that powerful. And not because of its politicians, I think it was because of its people. Its people are great. Every single one of its people, black, white, Latino, it doesn't matter what. Every single one of its people are what make the USA such a great country. And I've always seen that spirit in the US where, going all the way back, if you read into the history books with regards to World War II, and how they literally just mobilized after being hit in Pearl Harbor by the Japanese, how in 6 months, the USA had nothing, and in 6 months what they achieved, they had more weaponry in 6 months because they converted every single factory, every tin factory, every manufacturing fabrication plant was turned into making weapons and ammo and armory and vehicles and planes and God knows what, because the world was already on its knees. England was on its knees, and England had fought the good fight, but it was on its knees. It was struggling. Winston Churchill had been begging the USA to intervene, and the USA never wanted to intervene until they actually got hit. Can't blame them for that, obviously, because they're looking out for their own people. They're looking out. But the USA sent their own children, daughters and sons and everything, to die for the betterment of the world. They helped liberate Europe, and in doing so, never once did they go through, and yes, of course, they take their pound of flesh with regards to helping England, that kind of thing. They asked their price, but they never took anybody's land. They never liberated France and liberated all those countries and said, well, now that we've liberated, this now belongs to us. They never did that. They liberated and gave back. And yes, they asked for their price with regards to oil, with regards to whatever. They got it in a monetary thing. You can argue against that or you can argue for it. But they sent their children to die for the world. There was a price that you needed to pay the USA for that. We're not just going to send our children to die for free. And they did that. But when they got hit, what made the USA great wasn't what they made, wasn't the power of their military, was the power of their people. It was how the people came together to say, not on this fucking soil. Not on this fucking soil. That is the last fucking straw. Fuck you, Manhattan Project. God knows what they came up with in such a short space of time, in innovation, in pioneering, in engineering, in the way that the radar systems and the absolute brilliance came out of the people of the United States. And this was a while ago. And then let's fast forward it to something a little bit more recent, like 9/11. Once again, the heart of the United States gets hit. The heart, the Twin Towers go down. What do Americans do? This is 2001. What do Americans do? Band together. Once again, not on this fucking soil. Never heard in a time of crisis. You never heard the political tribes, the political games, even the media. You never heard the division that was created back then. It was all for one for all and all for one. We're getting our own back. Fast forward to today, and you think to yourself, what happened? What happened to the US? What happened to this beautiful country, this beacon of hope for the world, this beacon of humanitarianism for the world, the beacon of democracy, the people who believe that a free man can do more for its country and for its people than people in shackles and chains. And you know what? I think to myself, everyone's blaming each other. Everyone's pointing fingers. Everyone's got their fingers on the trigger with their guns pointed at each other. This isn't even a difference of opinion anymore. This is not even a difference of beliefs anymore. This is hatred. Outright hatred. And both sides are to blame. Both sides are to blame. I don't care what your narrative is on the right. I don't care what your narrative is on the left. You're both to blame. Because you're both fueling each other. You're both pointing at each other. You're both labeling each other. And your leaders are weak fuckers on both sides. A true leader, a true captain of a ship will say, this is our ship. I don't care if you're on the arse end of this ship or you are at the front of this ship. If we fight, this whole ship goes down. The whole ship goes down. You start drilling holes into your ship. Who cares if you're drilling holes on the left or the right of the ship? It's going down. You're all going down. You all have gone down. And what's happening now is that you're kicking each other and pushing each other off the lifeboats. These politicians on both sides are playing with people, man. The media is playing with people. The media is all about clickbait. I don't care, once again, which side you're on. It's clickbait garbage. What happened yesterday was the best thing that could have happened for the media. CNN is posting video after video after video after video on YouTube. As if like, oh my God, we've hit the jackpot over here. And likewise on the right. And you go onto Twitter and you go onto Instagram and everyone's pointing fingers at each other. Everyone's saying, oh, but this, Antifa, BLM, Trump supporters, blah, 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 blah. And you know what your leaders don't do? Do you know why your leaders aren't leaders? And I'm talking about, yes, Biden and Trump, both garbage. Do you know why leaders aren't leaders? Because a leader can see a situation when it's wrong, even if it doesn't suit their narrative, they will say it's wrong. What happened with the BLM protests, which is a valuable movement, and what they were doing and protesting in the streets was valuable. But when they started looting and when they started burning things down to the ground, you kind of started diluting the message. As a leader, you should come out and say, whoa, 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 guys. We get you. Protesting is correct. We get that you're angry. But this is wrong. This is wrong. This is not how we do things. And the same thing should happen on the right. It should be like when you storm the Capitol building and you start having like violence and you start rioting inside the Capitol building, the same thing happens. Come out and say, whoa, 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 we get that you're angry, but this is wrong. You lose all reasoning when you are fighting for something, and then you go to these extents on either side. You go to these extents to prove a point, to show that you are angry. You lose your reason. You lose your reasoning. And for me, I've always been centralist. You guys know this. I've always called out what's wrong on the left, and I've always called out what's wrong on the right. But to see this, man, do you know how many artists, do you know how many people I engage with from the USA? People that are Trump supporters, people that are Biden supporters, all amazing people. You people are so spectacular. You people are, just the conversations I've had with both of you on either side are so spectacular, but there's been this one thread that has gone across all of my interactions, is this division and this hatred. And it's everyone's fault, man. It's everybody's fault. And you know what? If you don't like what I'm saying, I can't help you. But I am saying that I love this country. I love these people. And what are you doing? You're being played like puppets. Both of you are being played like puppets. Both of you. In a year where we needed the unity, in a year that can be comparative to Pearl Harbor, not from a war perspective, from a let's unite perspective, because we are dealing with something hectic, regardless of your beliefs, regardless of you, whether you want to wear a mask or not wear a mask, the one thing you can agree on is that your fellow brothers and sisters are dying. And there are no excuses for that. There are no excuses for that. We didn't make those excuses in Pearl Harbor where it's like, well, it was only 3,000 odd people. We didn't make those excuses for 9/11. Well, it was only 3,000 odd people. You know what that is as a percentage of the population? It's nothing. People are dying, regardless of your beliefs. If you don't want to wear a mask, fuck, don't wear one. I can't have that argument anymore. I believe you should, but if you don't, I can't have that argument. But at the very least, can you not at least help each other? In Pearl Harbor, a very large portion of the population still didn't want to go to war, didn't want to get involved in that major conflict, and a large portion of the population did. But you know what happened? They put their differences aside and they band together and they did it anyway. They did it anyway. And you know what happened? That was the turning point for the USA. That put the USA on the track to being the world superpower. Those people, that heart, the nation that could stand together and look into the horizon and say, we'll take it from here. We the doers, the can do, we will do it. We let it slide. blaming the right. I'm not blaming the left. I'm blaming everybody. Because we live in a world, and it's not just the USA, but we live in a world where we cannot accept that we are wrong, and there is nothing wrong with accepting that. There is nothing wrong with accepting that we make mistakes as human beings. We've become so egotistical, so arrogant, so ignorant, because we want to stick to our rightness, and all that's done is left us in darker and darker and darker clouds. They just keep following us all over. What is wrong with admitting that when you're right, you're right. When someone points out that you're wrong, you're wrong. It's okay. You're human. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to apologize. It's okay to say I'm sorry. Both sides. It really hurt me to see a country that I absolutely admire as a South African, a country that I admire, a country that I've read up on, in awe, a country that I've done research on, in awe, a country that has got innovation coming out of its ears, people with hearts, can-do attitudes. Digress to this. And I know some of you are going to attack me in this, and you know what? Attack me. Attack me. I speak my political opinions on a lot of them songs, because some songs that I've reacted to have been political. And you know my viewpoints on both sides. You know that, from a liberal standpoint, I am a liberal, but I also am a conservative. But I haven't lost my rationality. And you shouldn't lose yours. Don't lose your rationality, your actual common sense. That it can't be if it's wrong and you're on the left and you are a leftist, and something that is happening on your side is wrong. Call it out for being wrong. That are what leaders are made of. Being able to look in their own pen and identifying the rotten apples. And the same needs to happen on the right. Look inside your own circle and identify the rotten apples. What is wrong is wrong, and is wrong for both sides. The only way anybody heals is to realize that if my team are being unsportsmanlike, I will come down on them like a fucking hammer. And if your team is being unsportsmanlike, come down on them with a hammer. Then can you find common ground. Because they say, good on you. You called out the shit on your side. I called out the shit on mine. Now let's discuss. No, but what do we have? Finger pointing. Finger pointing. It's your fault. It's your fault. The media, it's your fault. Your fault. Left say this, right say that, left say this, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And you know what? Who gives a fuck who's right? What has it done for you? What has it done for you as a country? What has it done? Who cares who is right anymore? What has it done? I genuinely hope that that we can go back to seeing the American people, the American soul, for who they once were. And yes, there's issues. There are the woke left, and there are the conspiracy theorist rights. I don't care. I don't care either side. Check your team. Check your house. Make sure that those foundations aren't crumbling on both sides. And then start pointing and throwing labels. Because neither side is perfect. Neither. And this is from an outsider's perspective. I'm not in there, I'm looking in. I'm looking into a beautiful country. I am looking into a country that has got so much power that is being lost. And the world cannot afford it. For whatever you say, for however you may have, whatever feelings you may have on the USA, if you're not a USA citizen, if you're from other countries, think about what the world would be with the alternative, without the blue, the white, and the red. For all that you think that they are not, there is so much that they are. I really hope that one day the USA can see that. They can see that they are so much more than titans, they are so much more than labels, they are so much more than legislators, they are so much more than Congress, than the Senate, than the politicians, they are so much more than the media. The USA are the people, every single one of them, the USA are the people. God damn it. The politicians are no longer scared of you. Do you know why? Because you follow loyally, without thinking. They're no longer scared of you. A real politician is scared of their own team. Not the opposition, their own side is who they're scared of. Politicians used to have to move the pieces on a chessboard. You're moving the pieces for them. And they're just laughing at you. Because they still go to their multi-million-dollar houses. They still make fortunes of money on your back. They look after their interests. They leave office in 8 years, if they get elected twice, obviously. And they kick the can down the road for the next guy. These fuckers aren't the constant. You are the constant. This is why democracy is not a perfect system, but it is the best system in the world. Because you have a say, and I have a say. And we stand on that plank that the politician stands on. And if we choose to step off that plank, goodbye, motherfucker. You don't serve us no more. That's democracy.